Well, it appears that this year, Country Thunder is a country bummer. A disagreement over noise rules has become one of the biggest stories leading into this year's Calgary Stampede. It all started when the city of Calgary introduced new operating conditions for outdoor music festivals. City officials said the changes were intended to address concerns from nearby residents, while festival organizers argued they would dramatically change the concert experience, jeopardize safety, and make it harder to attract major performers. The debate intensified after Country Thunder announced it was canceling its 2026 festival just 2 days before the event. Organizers pointed to several factors around the decision, including the new city noise restrictions, while the mayor of Calgary said the cancellation couldn't be blamed on those rules alone and accused the organizers of scapegoating the city.
They are plainly trying to take advantage of the noise and misinformation around this topic and bluntly hoping that you wouldn't look at the facts. Just 2 days ago, Country Thunder told City News that things were going well and that the city's noise rules would not affect its event. This and other articles clearly state that the organizers say the changes won't impact their operations. Their own staff are quoted saying, "Our curfew for our festival has always been 11 p.m. So blaming a midnight music cutoff for shutting down your concert that ends at 11 p.m. is absolutely bogus."
With Country Thunder gone, attention quickly shifted to Cowboys Music Festival, raising questions about whether another major summer event could face similar challenges. Now, after days of negotiations, the City of Calgary and Cowboys have reached a compromise. Live concerts will still end at midnight throughout Stampede. However, instead of lowering the pre-midnight sound limit to 70 decibels, the City of Calgary agreed to keep it at 75 decibels, matching last year's limit. Post-concert activity will be permitted until 1 a.m. from Sunday through Thursday and until 1:30 a.m. on Friday and Saturday to help stagger crowds leaving the grounds, while lower base limits will remain in place. When the City of Calgary first announced the restrictions on the music festivals, people weren't very happy, so we got some of their reactions and their thoughts. Take a look. Live music has to stop at midnight now, and the decibels for the sound is lowered, and a lot of Calgarians are saying that's going to ruin the whole Stampede experience. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think it will. Everybody will continue to have a good time either way, whether there's a noise restriction or not.
You know, Calgary is famous for the Stampede, so for you to kind of limit that when people like us have come, I think about 8,000 miles, something like that, to here, I think it's a bit sad, really. It's probably one of the few things that Calgary's famous for: Cowboys, Stampede, and oil. But it is one of your top things. So, it does seem a shame for 10 days to do that.
I see Stampede as being a long-standing tradition. So obviously there needs to be some fun. With that, maybe there should be something done in a different way to protect the neighborhood from the noise, but maybe not so much as restricting the activities themselves.
For me, the tradition need to be protected because it's something like 10 years ago, more maybe, I don't know, but for me it's something special and you have to stay like this, and in my country tradition is important, so for me I have to stay like this, and maybe for some people it's not that a good thing, but for me it doesn't bother me. So
would you say Jeremy Farkas is being a bit of a fun police?
Yeah, probably. It does seem that way. It's a fantastic event. So we came last year as well, and it was brilliant. I've never seen anything like it. The spectacle, the people in the cowboy hats, boots, all the gear, the actual rodeo itself. How brave those guys are. We ride horses, but I wouldn't do what they do. What makes you get up in the morning and want to ride a bull? I'm not sure. But it's a massive event. Why turn it down?
We heard yesterday that the Premier and Mr. Ellis had acknowledged some of that. They were providing more sheriffs to be able to help us manage some of the public safety pieces and whatnot. But a big piece was just the noise on weeknights. So council was able to land on a compromise where we're allowing the music through to 1 a.m. on weeknights. That's still far and above and beyond what other venues in North America provide. So, I think we struck a reasonable balance versus having that in a residential neighborhood now, but also needing to support these festivals and the vibrancy that comes alongside.
And Daniel Smith is calling you the fun police. What would you say to that?
Well, I would say there's nothing fun about being at 3 a.m. on a weeknight. Maybe you're a nurse trying to get ready for your shift. maybe family, blue collar worker, just trying to be able to get some sleep. Calgary is amazing. The Stampede's awesome. I fully support the Stampede, but I think Calgarians aren't idiots. They know the difference between the Stampede, which has a pure noise exemption, and the Cowboys tent. This is one bad actor that's been treating their neighbors like garbage, and I think it's important for us to be able to support the good actors, the ones who want to work with us. The vast majority of these large tent operators were willing to meet the community and actually adhere to those same rules that we have out at Coachella, Lollapalooza, and others. So I appreciate the Premier's thoughts on this, and walking her down to Stampede is going to be the safest and greatest outdoor show on earth.
We're just talking to some people outside who are tourists here for the Calgary Stampede, and they were saying that these noise restrictions might actually prevent them from coming back in the future. What would you say to those folks?
You know, I welcome anybody and everybody. The decision that we made as a council was actually protect Stampede. So when we think about the millions of visitors who come to Calgary every single year, some of whom come during Stampede, it's important for us to be able to express that hospitality. And when you have this loud music going at 3 a.m. on a weeknight, far above and beyond any other jurisdiction, above and beyond what even Coachella provides for in the middle of a freaking desert, that's just not reasonable for folks. So our council made a decision to back the people and push back against the big donors, the big interests, the out-of-touch, out-of-town politicians. We chose to side with the people, and I'll stand by that.
We should have never been here in the first place. Everything was working fine, everybody was happy, and somehow we had to come in, and now just things have been reduced, like during the weekdays, during the for decibels, for time limits. Is that going to make anybody happier? You know, I just don't see anybody saying, no, I'm completely happy. They're still going to complain about the noise. It's the Stampede, it's 10 days, let's just have fun. We're wasting a lot of time on something that we shouldn't even be doing.
Would you say this stifles a bit of the Calgary Stampede tradition?
Well, it just sends a bad message. Yeah, so I don't like the message. We should have never been in the first place.
And we were talking to some folks on the street, some people from the UK who come here for the Stampede, and they said that these restrictions might prevent them from coming back in the future. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's true. That's bad. I mean, Calgary, the Tourism Calgary has come out and said this is a bad idea. Again, we have the biggest festival, the greatest outdoor show on earth. People come here for 10 days to have a good time, to stay up late, to party. The music's a little loud. So be it. I don't get it. I don't know why people are complaining.
And lastly, Jeremy Farkas did make a claim that allegedly there was some actual property destruction, a window shattered from the noise. Is that true?
Yeah, if you want to worry about damage and crime and noise, maybe it's sirens because of all the drug addicts and the social disorder outside. That's where noise and damage is coming from.
There was also quite a bit of debate around the Country Thunder Music Festival cancellation. While the Country Thunder organizers said that some of the reasons that they canceled were because of construction in the area, including the water main line, and also notably the sound restrictions that were there at the time, Mayor Farkas struck back, and he wasn't assuming anything or implying anything, but he did mention that some of the reasons behind the cancellation might be that they lost their main headliner, Kane Brown, for their Saturday night concert. Heavy rainfall was scheduled for the week, and also alleged ticket sales weren't as good as they wanted. So we went to the streets as well, and we spoke to some of the folks in Calgary to see what they think, who's right and who's wrong.
I am very surprised that they did cancel 2 days before the event. I feel like the logistics, the money invested is crazy. I find crazy the response of the mayor, especially in a city that clearly is trying to grow in nightlife and events and music things, but it just doesn't have the logistic and it doesn't have the space to grow. And this is only gonna make Calgary be an older city. Younger people will always keep moving out of the city because there's not much to do here.
I think it is very sad because I would have loved to see Lainey Wilson.
Me too. Jeremy Farkas was saying that he wasn't speculating necessarily, but he was saying that Country Thunder potentially may have canceled because of the headliner dropping out, Kane Brown, and then also because of lower ticket sales and also a rainy weekend. What are your thoughts on that? Do you believe the story from Country Thunder or from Jeremy Farkas?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think there's definitely some lack of decisions made by Country Thunder, making sure that they have the headliner or a plan B, and also maybe catering outside.
I'm kind of torn on it. I don't know. I'm siding with Jeremy on this. Everybody can have a good time at Country Thunder. I don't think it really matters. They lost their headliner. I think they're hooped.
Personally, Country Thunder, their noise was not going to end at 11 or 1 a.m., whatever the noise restrictions are. It was a ticket problem. Mic drop.
I wish that like from Country Thunder there was like more impulse to like connect with like younger crowds. I don't see that much recently, but I also think that because of the regulations that the city has put on, it has been really hard to do anything.
It seems like most people that we have spoken to are siding with the city of Calgary on this one. We're gonna find out what's gonna happen over the next days, weeks, maybe months, and we'll keep you posted. With the Calgary Stampede coming up, we're going to be doing quite a bit of journalism, talking to MLAs and hopefully the Prime Minister. So if you want to catch all that and support our work out in the field, head to rebelfieldreports.com and send a donation there. As always, stay strong and stay free. For Rebel News, I'm Angelica Toy.